Hello and welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
So I see Shabaka, our moderator. She is stuck at the restaurant. So that is fine. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, Shabaka.
Have one for me.
Yeah. So, and also I have my little Luna, and she's being mischievous, right, honey?
Aw, Luna.
Luna, you gotta go. Here, I'm gonna put her down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ring the meditation symbol to clear
Right.
our space.
And maybe Luna.
Yes. And we can get started.
Sounds good.
Okay. Your barks don't faze me, honey. We do this when I'm live. All right, go. Come here.
They do make us laugh, don't they? My dogs can make me laugh so hard sometimes over the dumbest stuff.
Oh man.
She's protesting. What's she protesting about?
Freedom.
It's so Libra.
Well, I did name her Luna.
Yeah.
She is crazy. Hold on. I'm gonna put this blanket over you, honey, buddy. And you can just look at the blanket. Okay.
Whoa, that worked.
Well, we'll see. So, oh my goodness. What? How are you?
Well, it's a partial solar eclipse, new moon at 21 degrees Libra. There's a lot of interesting aspects to it, one of which I think we're experiencing, like with Luna and the chaos and everything, is the planet Pluto squaring the eclipse. It's exact on the west coast where you are, about 5 minutes till 2 tomorrow afternoon, and like 11 in the morning on the east coast, so we're ahead of it. But it eclipses build pressure, so it's really um, more intense than just a new moon. And Libra will bring into focus the ideas of justice, fairness, relationships, the arts, beauty, all of that kind of thing. Um, we also have aspects from Mercury to the eclipse. So that could mean like a lot of really quick information to process. Libra is an air uh, cardinal sign that has a hard time making decisions because it's all about balancing the information. So then they can come off indecisive. air energy is very intellectual. So, it's all about gathering information. And with Mercury's within a few degrees of the lunation, that means our minds are working really fast. There's a lot that can bring chaos. It can bring, you know, it's a weird energy because you might find yourself making quick decisions and then going back over it, wanting to, like maybe you should have taken more time to make the decision. So it's about being watchful that, recognizing the energy is very quickened
Mhm.
and try not to be too compulsive.
Right.
Um, it is also the kind of energy that will catapult you out of a stuck cycle. So it's also within a few degrees of the South Node. And the South Node represents karma and past lives. So that can translate into um, people from your past resurfacing, um, or thoughts or memories. Um, Being in the sign of Libra, which rules the seventh house, which is marriages and relationships, it's the public enemies. That could mean running into those people that were past partners. Um, a lot, unfortunately, in relationships, there's the element of secrecy, which can um, personify as betrayal. So sometimes that's where the public enemy part comes out, is, someone's not who you thought they were, and then they are revealed and they become like a public enemy.
Hmm.
So it can also mean, so it's the justice system and the legal system. And one of the recent reports that I saw was how many congressmen in the United States have dual citizenships, and the debate of whether or not that's in the best interest of the United States to have dual citizenships. Because if you are corrupt and you do bad things, you could easily flee to your other country,
Did
right?
you hear the thing about Poland?
No, I don't know. No, I haven't.
Okay, so there was a Polish speaker. I don't know if he was a president or just like a representative, but basically he was saying like, well, the reason why Poland is so good and the GDP is great is because we have a wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he says like, yeah, and we don't let like foreigners in. And then the lady was like, well, isn't that a little biased? He says, what biased? He says, well, the people voted for this, so like this is what the people want, and this is what makes everyone happy. That's why I got elected for this position. Blah blah blah. And then he was like, well, we're not allowing like criminals or people that to just come into our country and things like that. But do you see like in any like X, Y, and Z like in our country? No, it's a peaceful nation.
So Libra also rules diplomats, which brings in that international element.
Hmm.
So that's very interesting.
Yeah, he was saying something like, yeah, Trump did the right thing. He says, I commend Trump, by putting up the wall.
Well, in the United States chart, Pluto is having a return, and that takes like 230 years or more, 240 years. And that's a government top down rebirth. So,
Mm.
you've already started seeing it. Of course, we live here, so this is probably the history we study. And I apologize to people who are international and I don't know more about your country's history, but certainly if you want to offer anything in the chat, please do. There's so much to study. And I had touched on with our last talk that a Speaker of the House being removed is the first time in our history, And 110 years ago, in 1910, there was an attempt to remove a speaker, but the vote failed. So that got me thinking about 1910. And so, just the very brief astrology lesson for tonight is the ephemeris or ephemerai. So, this is the one from the year 1900 to the year 2000, right? And this one's heavy, so I'm going to do this one. And then this one picks up with the year 2000 to 2050. And these are the charts of where every planet is and phases of the moon and eclipse information here. Okay. And I looked up October 1910 in the older one, right? Well, lo and behold, guess what was happening?
But
Is the planet Jupiter was exactly 21 degrees Libra, which is where this eclipse is, 21 degrees Libra. And in astrology, the number of the degree of where planets are is very significant. They
mhm.
repeat, and these are called trigger points. So for an eclipse to be back to a point from that long ago, and Jupiter is foreign countries, things on a big scale. We've had the war break out. We've had a lot of volatility. I think there's been pockets of protests throughout the United States. And so then I did the next thing and I looked up historic events for 1910. That was very close to when the Titanic sunk. That was a pretty major, and let me connect something about the Titanic sinking that's even bigger. So, when you talk about a country's chart and a Pluto return, and it's in Capricorn, Pluto's in Capricorn, the government, we are having from the top of government trickling down total regeneration. What is part of that is the economy, the revaluing of our currency. So, um, when Titanic, one of the conspiracy theories about the Titanic, and I believe it to be true, I don't think it's a theory, but there were two very influential bankers on board and a third who was their partner. And this was like the roots of some of the really oldest banks. And the third guy at the very last minute, like at the dock, came up with some excuse with why he couldn't go. He backed out at the last minute. And so these two very influential bankers, and I apologize, I don't have their names off the top of my head, but they died in that in that event. There was also a theory that there was a submarine nearby. It was not a iceberg, that there was already damage to that hull. So the two that died were trying to revalue the dollar and the currency, which would have taken money out of the pocket of the big guys, right? It would
You
have,
mean the third one that was left at the dock?
yes, and it would more evenly distribute wealth amongst
People.
citizenship, right? So
Mm.
not having just the 1% elite in control of
So
all.
it's very similar to what's going on to
Isn't
today.
that weird? Okay, and so then also in 1910 was the beginning of World War One.
Hmm.
So that was triggered by the assassination of a ruler in Spain. And again, it all ties down to the money.
Mm.
People fighting over money and land,
It's
right?
funny you're saying this because my parents are in Okinawa right now,
Yeah.
and they went on a boat, and I said Titanic, right? Like I was joking. And get this, my parents, they sent me documents of what the people owe my mom just in case they go under.
Oh,
Can
God.
you believe that? That
This is just historic times that we're in. And one of the things great about the study of astrology, in my humble opinion, is to watch these cycles of history, because history does repeat itself. And when
Mhm.
we look back to our history, we get some insight to our future. So, some of the other things were that, and it was a little early, was China became a republic. So that was a country establishing its boundaries, like you were talking about, the wall or whatever. And I'm trying to get this to work. Let's see. I think I went over that. The beginning of the Russian Revolution, the murder of Rasputin, who was
Yeah, there's some stuff in the news about Vladimir Putin about how his
right.
health is deteriorating, and they're looking for a successor.
Well, and then the other thing here that I found really interesting was an exploration of the South Pole. There was a mission. Well, in astrology, when you look at the north south nodal axis, I've always associated that with the North and South Pole. And so we have this eclipse holding hands with the South Node. So I think we might see discoveries from Antarctica, or, something explorative, or um, also back in that time period, Uranus would have been making an aspect, is back to a point where it would be aspecting this eclipse tomorrow. And that brings in the technology element. Um, so you might see, like, eclipses are a lot of pressure. One story, which is a good example, in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, there are two uh, economic projects of building more tunnels under the water to get between land masses. And one of them recently had a huge crane fall into a deep hole, and it's probably going to mean a 2-year delay for the project.
Hmm.
So that could that be from plates of the earth shifting? You know, we know that volcanoes have been erupting, that have been dormant for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Washington's had a few earthquakes.
yeah, I
I
was just
haven't I haven't felt it, but I've seen it. Like it's like 4 point something on the Richter scale, and so one supposedly went off around my area, but I didn't feel it. But so it's really strange.
a lot of shifting. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then between now and the end of January, these outer planets are going to start stationing direct. So when we've had, you know, 5 outer planets retrograde for a good part of the last 6 months, we are starting to see them. Pluto's gone direct. We're going to start seeing them go direct.
Mm-hmm.
And that will also bring forth anything that's been kind of delayed or sluggish. So, very interesting times for sure, in a personal chart with eclipses. It usually are life chapters, in being in relationships with Libra. That could tie in, final divorce decrees. It could be filing for divorce. It could be getting marriage licenses. I mean, any legal connection to partnership or relationship. Um, Everybody knows I'm in the legal field, and lately I've seen there's been a lot of activity with partnerships changing who's in them, like the principles of them, whether
Mhm.
it's because, I mean, most recently this week, a file has been a principal partner died. So then there's paperwork to do to update who becomes that principal partner, key person, all these things. And that's an unusual area of law that generally is not all that busy. So I'm trying to think of some other examples of what people might experience. It certainly is a time to.
I would also say work contracts too, not just
Mhm.
like, a relationship in terms of love, but you were mentioning this is like something more like legal or property related, but also I feel like it could be about like job opportunities. Um, so yeah.
Well, with Jupiter triggered from the oh, here we go. So, oh, that was later, like 1918. I want to stick to like 1910 or so. I thought that was so interesting about the mission to the South Pole. And we have the eclipse conjunct the South Node. So that's really big. And so here's another thing we all need to be thinking about, especially with personal relationships. Say that you have, on a subconscious level, manifested the same situation multiple times over however many years, or not, or just, you know, if you're younger and just getting into having relationships, then, whatever applies to you, but that you notice that you kind of manifest the same scenario, different faces. And these are the energies to get down to the root of the problem. Why do we manifest unrequited love over and over? Why do we find attraction to emotionally unavailable people? These are just some of the examples. And this is the time to really get to the root of that and set it free. Be done with that monkey on your back. The eclipse, that's what a pressure of eclipse will do, is release the energy for good. Being with the South Node, these are behavior patterns that have been repeated. It could be family related. It could be, just relationships between parents or siblings. It doesn't have to be romantic love, but I think we're all more interested in getting to a point where we have healthy romantic love in our life.
Mhm.
Or is that just me? I don't know, but
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess typically that's what people like these days, right?
yeah. And so, let's see. Those go into what the songs were for 1911. Um, interesting things going on. Um,
Oh, so early 1900s, is that like when Tesla was living?
yeah, let's see. I just saw something about him. I think Tesla was a little later, towards 1920.
Oh, okay. I don't know why
Oh,
he came to
oh,
my.
here's one. The Boy Scouts were founded in 1910.
You're right. I remember the numbers.
Yeah. And
I
let's
wonder, were they selling popcorn back then too?
they were selling sassafras.
What is that?
I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's some old drink back from the day. And then, oh, remember? So the real original Coca-Cola did have cocaine in it. And
Mm-hmm.
so they've actually been talking about, you know, coming back with the original Coca-Cola recipe. Let's see.
They need to bring Coca-Cola back in those glass bottles instead of doing plastic.
this is disturbing. This was also the time when the American Communist Party was formed.
Oh. Well, what was the American Communist Party?
I don't know. I think it had to do with like a progressive movement with Theodore Roosevelt and uh, the concept of, everybody should share everything they have with each other. Like that's the delusion, Neptune, of communism. Is government tells you, if you work to help everybody, then everybody gets a piece of the pie. But really, it's being controlled by a very few powerful people and being, given an allowance, for your bread, given an allowance for where you
Oh,
live.
that's totally communist.
Right. So, but it's always been propaganda, and that's why certain people are more vulnerable to that kind of utopia, and it's not what it appears to be, which is very very Neptunian. So let's see, what's Neptune? Oh, well, so Neptune's still in its home, right, in Pisces. So that makes it even real more powerful. And it also makes it so that we don't see everything for how it really is.
So things right now are still a little bit glamorized or not really seeing the truth unless you're using your intuition about what may be
Right.
going on behind
And
the scenes.
and that is exactly, you're right on the money. I mean, that is exactly what we're all supposed to be doing, is listening to our intuition for either external 3D matters in our communities and what we're seeing around us, but
Mhm.
also internally on, being really honest with yourself about your patterns and why you find yourself in situations that are familiar, south node, and what's the fear standing in the way for you to reach to your north node. So in astrology, the belief is that, you create your chart to come into this experience with your gifts and strengths and weaknesses. And for a very simplistic explanation, the south node is familiar, comfortable. I wouldn't call it weaknesses, but it doesn't do anything for you in terms of growth. And the
Right.
north node is where you stretch and it's uncomfortable and has anxiety, and you're getting out of your comfort zone, and that's
Mhm.
where you strive to make yourself grow and be uh,
Everything that you're saying is what I channeled in the twin flame reading that I got from spirit guidance. And
okay.
the guidance was from spirit is to just listen to your intuition this week. And whatever you're thinking about, do it. You've had plenty of time to you know, go over it in your head. It's time to just do it. It's not time to just second guess yourself again.
Right.
So that's just following your kind of gut instinct, like you've been
Right.
thinking about it, like if you keep procrastinating and pushing it back off to the back burner, then you're not going to get to the thing that you really want if you're going to be complacent, self node, right?
Right. And it's a really good time to get very clear on what your goals are,
Mm,
and just try to focus on, if it's career aspirations, like what would be your perfect job? This is the type of energy to get very detailed and clear on that for it to manifest. It doesn't manifest because there's something confused, there's something blurred. The universe gives back to us what we put out. If we're putting out well, I'd kind of like blah, blah, blah. I'd kind of, and a kind of, and then maybe, the universe responds to assertiveness. I am,
Right,
will,
right,
in the present tense. So if it's not here, you know, I think where manifesting goes sort of sideways is we're thinking it's going to come instead of it's here now.
right.
Perfect
It
chocolate.
was really interesting. I just saw a neuroscientist. She was talking about like working out and building muscle. And she said that if you really concentrate and think about you building this muscle in your mind, uh, and just do it, you actually do the thing or the
Yeah,
act by 13% more than you would actually do it in a physical form.
right.
So that just goes to show you that the mind is actually a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And of course, like, we're being like, in this environment where it's actually like we're being
Shifting
manipulated, I
their
guess.
vibrations.
Right.
Right.
So remember, like I sent you an email midweek about like the EMF thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I bought a meter.
Cool.
So my area is pretty much safe. But when I put the meter close to my cell phone, it spikes. So that just tells me that it does send off a signal every once in a couple of seconds. It'll go poof, and then it'll go back down normal and then it'll go poof. So it definitely does send signals through the cell phone. The other interesting thing is that my air fryer sends off some crazy freaking signals.
That's
And
funny.
that's in my house,
That's
so
funny.
yeah, the only thing I did not test was the actual microwave
An
to
air.
see, like, how much it actually, like, spikes
Oh,
up,
right. Right.
and then I got a little bit, curious. I was trying to do, like, a meditative thing and bring in my spirit guides, and, I only did a little bit. I didn't go into, like, a full, translate state, but it didn't show much of a difference, so definitely the cell phone. So if you sleep with your cell phone, I would just advise that you put it like at least 5 feet away
In
from
another
your
room.
body.
Yeah. They recommend putting it in another room.
Or turning it off if you can. But with that, no, I need to turn off my heat and I'll be right back.
Okay. There was a Japanese doctor, I want to say Kamuto. I might be botching that pronunciation. And he put out research about molecules of water responding to sound waves.
Oh yeah, yeah. Homosho, or yeah,
Hmm.
I know who you're talking about.
And I think that that is along the same lines of what we're talking about, that all of the 5G radio waves interfere. We have an electromagnetic field around our body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's logical to make that connection that these, devices and things that also have some sort of electronic wave, radio wave or whatever interacts. And I think that with the solar flares and the Schumann resonance that, we've been experiencing really for a couple of years, we've had historic um, astrological signatures that we might just be experiencing a lot of burnout and exhaustion, energetic exhaustion. And I've followed and still believe a lot in the work Louise Hayes did about the power of your mind healing your body through
Mm-hmm.
thought, you know? And so one of the, I guess, visions for our ever evolving and shifting paradigm or simulation is that the power of our mind can move our body, can telepathically communicate. Um, I think, exercising that part of our brain is another really good way to do this energy. If you have a friend or something that you could do like a little psychic experiment and, designate a time like between, what you're going to try to communicate to each other through silence or through the power of your mind, a focused, energetic pulse or vibration. And um, one of the other sort of visions, I don't like using the word prediction, but visions is of how, as we allow our vibration to, I want to say, overpower these lower level vibrations, um, we'll be in a better space emotionally and mentally and in our life because we've gotten out of the matrix.
Hmm.
But the thing to remember is there's a whole lot of people that want to stay stuck in their south node. They
Yeah.
want to be in the matrix. They're used to that pattern. Anything outside of it scares the hell out of them. And
Well, that's because of all the brainwashing that we've been through for not only in our living lifetime, but through our bloodlines, karma through generations. And we can actually help by changing in this present moment.
right,
Um, whether or not, that's a lot because it's going to take a lot of what we call light workers on this planet. There's so many
and
people, yeah, so many people who call themselves light workers, are they still like going out there and spreading their light towards other people, or are they, still like, holding back their ability to shine and help? So there's a lot, but I feel like it's because of the fear factor, which is what you had mentioned.
yeah.
So we can actually look past the fear and really be focused on, what is it that we want? What are we in alignment with? Whether or not that's being a light worker or whatever situation that's currently going on in your present circumstance. I really feel like no matter what it is, it's like a next step in the whole, I guess, learning process of what we're all going through, because not everyone is going to be in tune or in sync with this universal oneness.
And I
Um,
think that, our job to a certain degree is, first off, being very disciplined with our own kinds of energetic practices to keep ourselves together.
mhm,
There's a certain amount of tolerance we have to learn for people because it's really easy for our ego to judge and dismiss what somebody's going through who's scared to death and doesn't want to believe anything, anything to change. We are in eclipse season. So it's later this month on October 29th that we have a lunar eclipse in Taurus. Taurus is the banking systems. Taurus is structure and, um, an eclipse in Taurus really works on people who have been stubborn because, one of the sayings is you don't let go of anything without claw marks. So there's this real pressure to do something to, and I think we will see that manifest in a lot of ways. The protest is one. People don't know really where to direct their anger and their energy. And then I think that communities like ours, searching for the spiritual truth, wanting to be out of the matrix, and recognize, oh, I love that name, Rowdy Rogan. That's great. Welcome, and thank you for joining. Um, that's a great name. That's very eclipsey. Rowdy. We are in a rowdy month,
Mhm. Well,
October
I
was,
was thinking, like, like between now until the end of the month, I really feel that there is like some sort of crescendo that is actually happening. It's like, that will be like the apex,
yeah,
or the peak of like this explosive
yeah,
energy that wants to let loose, right? So,
yeah.
like, for the next 2 weeks, we might, feel maybe a little unsettled over like situations, and then it may escalate into like
Ooh,
arguments and stuff like that.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's
it's cute.
and what it makes me want to say, um, one of the healings that we all have to contend with is that inner child, that 10-year-old inside of us.
Hmm.
That that age is a real, you're still, a child, but you've been through enough to where you think you're more grown up than you are. And hey there, Grace GT, thank you for coming. And inner child work is often associated with the South Node. So the South Node and the eclipse holding hands. Um, you might just feel like crying like a little girl for no reason. And I would say embrace that and move it on. Get the energy, you know, sit with it, move it on. Try not to repress um, the depression or negative feelings, because the reality of it is the globe is under some really depressive kinds of energy that takes a certain mental mettle to overcome, right? We can't allow ourselves to just be, whooshed away in the chaos. We have to take some very strong positions on, what's important to you. And we can break it down in, family units, in career and work, in relationships. And I think you'll be seeing a whole lot of changes within those types of units. People being offered different jobs, um, families either emerging or unmerging. There's really no one way whether this comes together, go to part. It's about shifting. It's about those patterns, breaking the chains that bind comes to me, breaking the chain. Libra loves freedom, and that 21-degree Jupiter back in 1910, that was all about freedom. And we're kind of addressing that same scenario. People want their freedom. They're tired of being oppressed by the tax man and regulation and really ridiculous kinds of control that we as a society have allowed to sort of take hold. And now it's time for us to, um, I feel like it's just really important to set your priorities. You know, I think debt is a big one. People struggle a lot with um, getting by these days, with inflation and
What I've come to know is that maybe here in the United States it's like that, but in other countries financially they're actually doing well. Even the people who are considered poor. Because recently I did a reading for a lovely subscriber. She lives in Norway, and she says everyone here is like rich. Even the poor people are, well off. And so that just kind of like shows me that like not everyone is going through this economic struggle. Like there's certain countries where financially they're doing well.
I
So
think there's more struggling, like Iraq is in a big budget sort of currency reevaluation Greece has been bankrupt for a long time. Of course, one of the theories about economics is when you start a war, your economy gets better. So
Well,
then,
I really do feel that the whole thing, we can say that it has some religious undertones, but I really don't feel that. I don't know. I feel like there's more to the story than what's being portrayed on
absolutely.
media outlets and stuff. And so, um,
And being open minded to that, I think that's a big part of two eclipses in 1 month. And we've had, several, we've actually had 3 years of very intense energy and
mhm,
astrological configurations that in our lifetimes we have not had to assimilate or respond to. So we're all sort of in uncharted waters emotionally, spiritually, and then, whatever reality you choose to say you're in. And and this is a really good time to um, you know, be open minded to what you might learn, you know,
mhm.
not being too rigid about what you thought you knew about certain things. And there might be like an escalation in management, anger management classes in communities because,
You mean in the next couple of weeks, or?
yeah, yeah, but actually for the next year, because
uh,
I think as things do sort of get morphed, and it will trigger people. To a great degree, we've been bamboozled on a lot of levels. I think it's very exciting, and I can't wait to see what is the next fraud or mystery resolved, but uh, and you probably feel that. I mean, Scorpio energy is all about, wanting to see behind the dark veil, wanting to see deeper into something. So
mhm,
a lot of it might just be where you are in your path and what your energy is. Um, a lot of people turn to drugs and alcohol to repress seeing any kind of reality. Scorpios are way too controlling to let anything like that control them. And you may see people that have had drug and alcohol addictions and problems sort of get clean of that, and this is about shifting from what you've been used to. So if you've been used to a real straight laced, family unit, you, I can't think of a movie, but that theme of, well, sure, I can think of a movie, but no one's going to know what it is. It's ancient, but I love its theme. It's called Shirley Valentine, and it's a woman who lived a very mundane life in London, took a vacation to the Greek islands, and never went back to London. That's the short story. But it was about getting out of her routine and being inspired by something that made her heart full. And I think that is part of the shifting of the energy, is our chakras are opening. We're no longer really just mundanely operating on the logical. The brain says, I've got to show up there and do that for, that schedule. And then, you know, when I get the pay, I'm going to shell it out to this, and this. I mean, I think we're all looking for more meaning, and that's no longer fulfilling to just exist, and that's happening on so many levels, personal levels, global levels. But I think a whole lot is happening financially, with financial markets. The bond market is, I have a neighbor that works for a huge um, brokerage. And I mean, the bonds that build infrastructure of cities and towns is very volatile. And, it's almost like fake money. Like there's prospects of projects that investors look at and they say, okay, we want to build this um, park or something, something with state and federal funds. And it's all done like by someone's plan or vision on paper.
Well, that's you know what? I've done a lot of like design work in regards to that. So one thing is that there is a particular uh, institution where they will say it's not backed by FDIC, but they'll promote it, and there's no guarantee for said investment,
Yeah,
but they're pushing it out anyways. It's like, so they dress it up, they make it look good. You
right,
get a pamphlet,
right.
you get like the good jargon, like the legal stuff in fine print. They push it out to you where it's easy. It's like another thing to put like your money into or invest into. And not only that, I've done it for other clients, like especially in the oil industry, where I really feel like it was a Ponzi scheme where this guy was buying up old, dried up wells, and he wanted to build like a fund, to drill these oil fields, but knowing that it was dry. And I
It's
remember
it's
I
like these windmill farms,
I
remember?
I built the whole entire, like, process. I built him a website. I built him, like, the whole packet that you get, like, for people
Yeah,
to invest tens of thousands of dollars, and at the time, I was really young. Like, I was just, like, like,
happy
early
to work.
20s.
Yeah,
No, I mean, I was just straight out of freaking college. I didn't know, at the time, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do it." But now that I'm older and I know, that's exactly what that was. So,
yeah,
it's always like a way to make money.
right.
It's not fulfilling. It's actually a short term stint. And so, what I feel is that there's just so much that's going on, but if we can just like really be true to ourselves and be more transparent and do things that truly make us happy and other people, this world will be a better place.
And have solid priorities.
Yeah.
Figure out, if you feel really overwhelmed with so many irons in the fire or so many worries on your mind, to at least get like the top three that you really want to affect, because these are the energies that you can have an effect. And be steadfast at that. Don't be fickle about it. It's
Mhm.
like really, I overheard this lady at the greenhouse a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure it was a message for me as well, because it hit home. And, we're all like looking at mums and, garden stuff. And she was telling one of the other employees that this greenhouse was really hard to get a job at because they ran credit checks, and that she had to clean up her credit before they hired her, and that she had never been through that. And it's a greenhouse. It's not like a corporate job or anything. I mean, she's in
Well,
short.
shit, she might be stealing those moms, her freaking plants for her little side hustle.
But one of the things that struck me was her talking about how, yeah, I just really concentrated on not spending money on things I don't really need, and get my bills paid. And when I think about the money that I spend on things that I don't need,
Mhm.
that struck a chord with me. And ever since then, and it's been 3 weeks ago, I, when I am out and about and I think about something that it's so insignificant, maybe a magazine, or I don't know, some treat for the dogs or something, and I'll think, you know, I, I've got plenty of that at home. I don't really need that. So it
Mhm.
was a good message for me to hear. And uh, just anything like that that gives you anxiety, if you can come up with a strategy, because Libra is very strategic, that, diffuses that anxiety. What is it that worries you that you can have an effect on? Say you're in a really miserable job, well, so what do you have to do something about that? You've got to get your resume updated and, take a look at it. You need to be networking and open to, a change. Because I think I've watched a lot of people, they stay stuck in their miserable cycle because they're more scared of change than staying in their miserable cycle.
Mhm. Mhm.
And, when you talk to or, read for people about how to get into a better space, there's always, and my aunt was like this, you can't even finish the sentence and they're saying no. Like she'd talk about, she was always talking about trying to lose weight. And, it'd say, well, take a walk every afternoon, or instead of eating, Cheez Its, have you some oranges sliced, whatever, just any little thing. Cause you're sitting there trying to help a person figure out how to get to a better place.
Mhm.
No, no,
Well,
no.
that goes back to what you were saying earlier, that the person has to want to really be motivated to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, but,
Right.
are they truly ready for that change? Are they still in that south node, wanting
Make a
to
plan of action. I think
Yeah,
that's the theme for this month is
because like you said, there's so many people on this planet who are just so complacent. Like, they're like, "Yeah, okay." They hear it and it sounds great, but they're not about taking the action.
I went to this conference yesterday, and the keynote speaker is an author. And I mean, it really had nothing to do with what the conference was about, because it was like human resources was her keynote talk. And it was the workplace post pandemic was the title.
Oh gosh.
I know. And I know. And I really didn't want to stay and listen, but I kept finding myself staying and listening.
Mhm.
And it really was like an HR kind of talk, because it talked about the different generations within a workplace now. Like this is a period in our time when you have five generations of people under the same roof in a company.
Mhm.
And each generation was raised differently and brings different things to the table. And, you know, different ones might have a rub with this way or that way, that somebody, was brought up doing stuff or whatever, or not. And, just being able to not be judgmental, being more tolerant, knowing that we can all learn from each other, that we all have value, and there's not, you know, some people that are more important than others, that we're all important. And I think, learning that sort of self value during these times. One of the things I wanted to mention, and it, you do your bath and body treatments, and your teas, the whole self nurturing um, is all about this month. I mean, we have to be really gentle with ourselves for making judgments on ourselves, being careful how we talk in our head about ourselves. You know, don't ditch yourself. You have value, and you're here for a reason. And that's part of the South Node, like getting rid of self negative talk, and you know knowing that you're worth the time it takes to do an extra facial treatment. Or I
Mhm.
bought those eye things that
Attach.
you sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it takes 15 or 20 minutes. You can do that while you're doing something else while you're on the computer. You can have an eye patch,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important to integrate those kinds of nurturing activities as we're going through this. It's very Libra is about beauty.
Mhm.
It is beautifying uh, yourself, your surroundings. That's where decluttering comes in. Getting rid of things that no longer serve you.
You know
Um,
what? I didn't realize that Libra also appreciates functionality.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
it's
so
it's it's the sk it's balance, right? It's
mhm.
a feng
It's
shui
like balance between beauty and also like,
practice,
practicality.
right?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, so Libra's got it going on." I
Well,
don't
it's it's very social, right?
Mhm.
As the zodiac goes, it is the seventh house, so it's functioning within relationships, and I don't just mean romantic or personal.
No, I
You
think it's on
relating to
all aspects. Like, it could be the workplace, it could be with
yes.
friendships, it could be with, like, I don't know, doing day-to-day activities,
It
but
can
all
even be ruled by Venus. It can either even be your relationship with money.
Mhm.
So if that's connected with any of your goals or aspirations to, you know, shore up your financial structure because you want to go on a big trip, or, getting focused on something that makes you feel passion in your heart. And that doesn't necessarily have to involve another person. It just may mean, you know, um, if I could beautify my yard and blah, 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 that would give me a good feeling. It doesn't have
kinda
anything.
like having a water fountain in the yard.
Yes.
It's gonna look beautiful, but then here comes the birds that you get to see as they're chirping away, and
Yes.
you're looking outside your window, washing dishes.
It's all kind of a chain reaction of things that starts with our own self-talk, how we think in our minds about our self value and self worth, and manifesting the things in our life that take stress away. And I think what you'll be seeing a whole lot of people changing careers. There'll be a lot of shifting, getting to the thing that you really want to be doing, and not just talking about, well, I would like to be doing. And I just realized this came to my head just now. I was I was joking, but not really. I've always wanted to be in music, and something came up this week connected to a theater, and I was just joking with one of my bosses about, well, look, if they do an open call for, dancers or singers, you got to let me know. It's all I really want to do. We just had a good laugh about it, but it's important. And what that triggered in my mind was not ditching that could happen if I wanted it to, because we
Mhm.
all have a way of doing, well, I'm too old to do that, or that, or uh, there's some block we put up in ourselves to keep from getting to where we really want to be. And it can
Mhm.
be out of um, the perception of responsibility towards others. That's the classic. The mother of a family not feeling like she could take a day to go to the spa because of
Mhm.
the obligations to take care of her perception of duty. And this kind of energy will make that mom take that day to the spa. So
Mhm.
it's a
My
shift.
kids know. I said, "Mama's getting her massage." You're like, "Okay." They know I'm all about it, like, no,
Well, I
mama
think you'll
doesn't skip
see
that.
people who are not all about it finding it. That's what eclipses do, is they push
Mhm.
people into new directions that they
Mhm.
are not familiar with.
Well, if you haven't already, guys, and if you don't take the time out for yourself, go ahead and do yourself a favor and do something nice for you. Just
Let's
saying.
see your new tea packaging.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, I have been working on my tea. It's not completed, but it is available for sale. So basically, I've been working on this tea, and I have three, or actually four new teas that you can try for the holidays. And I can show you.
Nothing better to relax than a hot cup of tea.
Yeah. So right here I have, because this, I want to say the sun, winter white chai.
Nice.
And then also I have pumpkin spice chai.
I like your cans.
Thank you. So the nice thing about these cans, guys, is that once you're done, you can totally recycle this because it comes with like a little lid, and you can use it for something else.
Cool.
So I put it in a little package so it stays fresh, and then it's easy to clean, and then you could put this on your cupboard and use it for other spices or whatnot that you guys may have.
Dog
And
treats, cat treats.
yeah, yeah, you could do anything. And
Food.
then this one is apple pie,
Yum.
and it does taste like apple pie. It's actually a really good tea. This is caffeine free. So, yeah, if you guys are interested, go ahead and take a look at foxyteas.com. It's already up there, but I'll be putting it up on Etsy probably by next week. I'll be working on it this weekend. So, yeah, I have
Nice.
that. And then also I have French lemon ginger or something like that.
Oh, yum.
So, like, if we're going through the winter season where you might get sick, so I have a special blend tea that is perfect for that occasion, right?
Cool.
In case you
You,
guys are feeling under the weather. So,
have you been doing more of your facial scrubs and body treatments?
yeah, I have some scrubs. They're kind of over there. Yeah, let me just go get it real quick while we're talking about it.
Well, that would be a great way to do the Libra eclipse is some pampering and nurturing and being easy on yourself, being watchful of how you speak of yourself. And
Yeah, so this right here, this is the
oh,
eucalyptus
I
and
love that one.
peppermint.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, everybody loves this one.
Yeah.
Like even my massage therapist, his wife, finally tried my scrub, and she was like, I would like to purchase some, please." And I was like, well, you can get it off of Etsy, or you can get 20%. She's like, "No, you don't understand. I'll pay for it." I said, "Well, I'm just like right down the street, you know." She's like, "Do you take cash?" I said, "Yes." So yeah, and also I shipped out to like someone in a different country. She wanted like a big bottle of this, so the eucalyptus and peppermint is probably my best out of all the ones because of the menthol, and also it does have like this aromatherapy healing
Right.
aspect to it, and plus you feel really smooth. And then, guys, okay, the reason why I create these products is so that you can clear your auric field. So if you have like any kind of negative stuff
Right.
that is going on in your energy, okay, earlier we were talking about EMF and our energetic fields. And so this will actually neutralize any kind of bad juju that is in your energetic field. So I highly recommend it if you guys are
I do too.
interested.
I love them. They're great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have, guys. And then I forgot. So I also have like this Evil Eye bath bomb.
Oh, yeah.
And so like if you order this, you can actually get like the evil eye bracelet and the keychain. Let me actually pull it up real quick. Hold on.
Sure. We're going to pull some cards here for the signs in a minute.
Okay, yeah. So here is the bracelet.
Cool.
Yeah, it comes with like a little Hamza. How do I do it? Right here.
Yeah.
And then also the keychain.
Nice.
Here we go.
Very nice.
So basically, whatever this thing is, guys, if you guys don't know, is to protect you from people who are jealous or envious towards you. So, it's like the eye staring back at you.
The side eye.
Yeah, so let me just put this on just in case, somebody's got like some ill will going towards me. And that's the whole intention of these um, bath bombs is to number one, clear your auric field. Number two, protect you from any kind of negative energies. And then also after you're done with your bath, then you can have like extra protection along the way. So yeah, they
Nice.
come with each bath bomb while supplies last.
Nice.
All right, that's it. That's all I
I
got.
love it.
Thank you.
Well, in terms of Libra being the arts, I haven't used this in a long time. So this is a very pretty artistic kind.
Velvet Tarot. Okay.
Um,
So let me see here.
and I just was looking for something really pretty. And they,
So I will use the Kipper cards.
oh, great. Okay. So we have pretty artwork tarot cards to pull tonight in honor of the Libra eclipse tomorrow in the weekend.
Yeah, so here we go. We have Aries.
So Aries, what do you need to know for the Libra eclipse? I got their card, the Emperor.
Hmm. And I have Despair.
It's a lot of masculine energy going on here for Aries.
So, I mean, like the eclipse season is pretty much ending and maybe a new beginning, maybe Aries, you're in your element, but I don't know, either you're the
This
one in
is
charge.
definitely vitality.
Hmm.
The despair makes me think of the end of a relationship.
Or a friendship. I see a dog over there.
Yeah. And that, the emperor would, with the red cloak there, would infer, it's for your highest good.
Mm-hmm.
It might come out of having one of those Aries kinds of fights,
Well, I was
arguments.
I was thinking that maybe maybe you're like in a leadership position and you're in despair because maybe you lost your job or maybe
Maybe
you're
you're
having
just exhausted,
maybe you're having a hard time, maybe you're overworked, and
burnt out.
yeah, burnt out. So take a break,
Yeah.
Aries.
Yeah. Aries needs to definitely slow down, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So next we have Taurus.
Let's see. Ooh. So I have the Hanged Man for Taurus.
And I have the lady with expectation. Hmm.
Hmm. Managing expectations.
Maybe taking a step back. Maybe Taurus, you expected something. Maybe it's not going your way.
And having faith that it will, that things generally do work out, just not always the way we thought or thought we hoped. I think this again gets into the perception of how we look at things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of waiting energy. Do you see like this person's
Yes.
waiting, looking out the window, and then you have the hangman, he's hanging upside
Yes.
down. So maybe
Yes.
this is the time for Taurus to sit back and like reflect
Yes.
on what you might do, because there's that the lunar eclipse in Taurus at the end of the month.
Right.
So maybe it's time for you to just really take this time to think.
And relax.
I feel also it's about work. It could be about, your money situation also.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Another kind of message of sort of chill.
Chill, have some chocolate.
Yeah.
Listen. And Gemini's card fell on the floor.
Uh-oh.
Oh. So I have an official person.
Oh. And I have the Seven of Pentacles.
Hmm.
Gemini.
So do you see there are two twos, 22, which is a four, which is
Yes.
about stability. Seven is a number of investment. Maybe you've invested yourself into a situation for a long time. Like maybe you've been like this person in charge, and you're kind of like in this energy of duality. Like you want to be in charge, but like where do you want to go? Do you want to go all the way, or you want to go a different way?
So this eclipse would be trining Gemini, which is very fortunate. And I
Hmm.
take the Seven of Pentacles and official person as job opportunities to
Okay.
make more money.
Oh, yeah, and it could be a prestigious position over
Yeah.
here.
Some sort of advancement,
Mm-hmm.
taking more responsibility.
Also, maybe something that you're very passionate about. And I really feel you're not talking about this, which is hard to believe.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're keeping it to yourself. But you have like this look on your face, like, yeah,
Yeah.
I got this.
I think this is a powerful time for Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
The element of air is intelligence, you know, gathering
Mm-hmm.
information.
Yeah, I really feel that with this card too. So good news, Gemini.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that time.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Cancer.
Oh, sweet. I got the star.
Oh, and look, I got the main mail.
Oh, Cancer might have some love going on for the eclipse.
That's what I was thinking. Whatever you wish for, he is there and he is looking charming.
He's looking really good there, isn't
I
he?
know. Look how he's standing with his hand in his pocket. What is he doing with his hand in his
And
pocket?
he's got a tie on, so he's serious.
I mean, this guy must have some money or something too. Like he's well dressed. Um,
Got a lot of fine art behind him.
mm-hmm.
He's got kind of a interesting expression, like he's what is that is saying, like he's knows something he doesn't want to tell yet, but it's good news.
I just feel like this is like a look of assuredness. Like he knows what
Yeah.
he wants, and his wish will be fulfilled, or he or
Yeah,
she.
I know. This has got a lot of good stuff going on. The sunflower.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you have that lady like doing the alchemy.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
You
Cancer.
know, maybe that gentleman is uh, someone of influence who can offer Cancer a good opportunity.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever's flowing from those little kettles over there is
Yeah.
looks like it's flowing the right way.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Leo. Sorry,
Leo.
Leo.
Leo. What will the eclipse in
Ooh.
Libra and Leo do? It's fire and air. It's pretty active. I have the Knight of Swords.
Okay.
I did say knight, right? No, king. Sorry.
Well,
My,
look at this. I have the courthouse.
oh. So there might be some legal situations with Leo to work to finalize.
I get you were talking all about that earlier.
And you know, the swords is that psychic ability. So using your intuition in those situations,
Mm-hmm.
getting married, getting divorced.
I feel like, getting to the truth of the matter with this legal thing.
Leo loves the truth.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely some sort of change. It could be a work situation. It could be about like an external person, like knowing the truth about some legal situation about someone else, actually. That's what I'm getting.
Something you suspected and then it gets confirmed. He's got some documents in his hands there going to the courthouse.
Mm-hmm. Like there's CM. Do you see that? So if CM is anything specific to you, then that might be your sign. Wait a minute. CM.
Let's look at his face again. He looks like he's looking forward to going to the courthouse. Doesn't look like he's dreading it.
Well, he's got whatever he is, he's got two documents, and I wonder what is in one and what is in the other. And it's got a red ribbon.
Yeah,
Is it? That's the fate.
yeah,
That's the seal of fate.
yeah.
And he's wearing a fake wig.
Maybe he's getting redemption. Could
Oh,
Leo be getting some redemption for the eclipse?
I hope so.
Feeling redeemed, feeling like the scales of justice are balancing.
I think so. I think it's a good sign.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
We like balance. Balance and the truth.
Mm-hmm. So next we have Virgo.
Virgo's been working too hard. Ah, the Hierophant. So
Okay.
again, more legal issues.
All right, Virgo, you all are being so hard.
You know, this is also taps into their spiritual side.
It's about their freaking marriage.
Oh, Virgo's getting married.
Well, there's definitely some sort of change that's going on here. Maybe this is about taking your relationship to the next level if you're in a marriage. If you're not in a marriage, this is about like a partnership of some sort.
How about marriage counseling
Yeah, that could be a thing.
and maybe a marriage under some sort of legal scrutiny? Oh no. A lot of flowers. Feels very pink. He's got his arm around her ribs there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel
I
pretty
don't know.
good.
That sounds to me. This is more like a pose.
There's definitely more going on than meets the eye, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see their faces again.
They're look. Their lips are closed. So this is the thing. When you're really happy,
Right.
you're like this.
Yeah.
If you're posing for a picture, you're like
It's forced.
Hmm. That's why this looks fake.
And the Hierophant's back is to them.
Right.
So maybe it's a reflection on a marriage and it's under some kind of scrutiny.
Well, I really feel like it's like a portrayed marriage, like on the outside it looks like, it's a good thing, but
It's
you
not a
know,
lot going on.
yeah, I really feel like this is more of a traditional thing. You know how like people they get married for the sake of being married because that's the thing that you have to do, and
Yeah.
um
Well,
remember what?
actually,
Remember in the last like live, I was telling you about my experience at the hair salon,
yes.
and the lady was like, "Oh yeah, my husband or my fiance, he insisted on having a marriage or like a wedding
That
because he
really got
wanted to see
good.
me walk down the aisle." I
Yeah.
was like, "What? Well, that's new to me." I was
So,
like, "I never heard no man say I want to watch my wife walk down the aisle."
so I want to see her face. I will tell you what my psychic impression was when I see that bride's face. Put her up there again.
Oh man, I put her back.
Oh, you did?
No,
I just felt like her expression that she had someone else on her mind. Like it's a marriage, but there's someone else on her mind.
yeah, but he'll do.
He'll
He,
do.
he's not that bad.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's so
He
funny.
makes a good picture. That's for damn sure.
Yes, yeah, he's pretty decked out with his little
Yeah,
watch.
look at his little pink flower. At least he's wearing pink.
Yeah, a lot of pink going on there. Wow.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I think that's a marriage that needs some counseling or is in counseling with the hair.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, which is a good thing. I really hope that if the marriage is going through like a rocky situation, that you try your best to make it work. Because like my mama's a Virgo. Okay, right now they're in Okinawa, and like she's been married to my dad, who is a Taurus, and they have a rocky relationship, but they're still sticking it out
They work it out.
through thick and thin. But
Yeah.
they still argue and they still bitch at each other. But hey, at least they're living their life. So I really feel like Virgo will actually be responsible. They're not the type of person to like they like to take care of things. I mean, yeah, I get that, but it's just hard. Let's just put it like
Well,
that.
and with the Hierophant too, it could be one of the people going into like a spiritual higher purpose, like they get more involved with some organized religion or one of
Well,
the
hopefully it's more spiritual than
one of
religious.
the members of the marriage maybe becomes a priest or the Hierophant can be the priest and the counselor and yeah.
It also could be about the military too.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we have Libra. And look, I have lovers.
I have 10 of swords.
Oh Jesus, what the
Yeah,
heck?
that's pretty painful.
Libra.
Libra might have some changes under their eclipse.
There's two doves. And interesting. Let's see here. You feel like you can't go anymore when it comes to relationships. So is this about the ending of something? But I feel like there's someone else also that you might be interested in.
We've got some kind of, this is like be gentle. There's some kind of little fawn or deer animal there. So this is like the be gentle message. You might feel some pain.
What I was feeling is like that's like a birthing of a new beginning. So like even though that you may feel like it's the end, there's something new that's around the corner here.
That's good.
Yeah, I would take this ending as something positive, for something new to happen.
Sometimes the lovers can represent a triangle.
Mhm. I see it because we have the two birds and then we have like the statue over there.
Yeah, sometimes the Cupid is like the third wheel.
Mhm.
And, Ten of Swords, it can be pretty shocking. And an eclipse is pretty shocking.
Yeah, I mean it is kind of semi rough.
I kind of feel like there might be some Libras that make some unpleasant discoveries under the eclipse energy.
I've come to know that too. So if
Yeah,
you're a Libra, speak up.
yeah.
Or if you want to, you don't have
Or
to.
like, really embrace the intensity of the energy to get clear. What I think you used the word transparency,
Mhm.
to get down to the bone of the matter. What's real?
Oh, man, that kind of makes me feel like, oh, geez, man, what is
Glad
going
to
on
be a
with me?
Capricorn, aren't you?
What's up with that? I don't know. We're gonna have to
Well, you still have Pluto in your sign, so
hmm
that's a never ending life, death, life cycle, along with Scorpio.
So I'm kind of used to it.
Scorpio with the Strength card.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
They're in their element. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. I have a message of concern. So maybe you're gonna receive some unpleasant news.
What else is going on in your card? She's got a note.
She's like, "Oh
Gentleman
my
here.
God, did they say that?
Oh
Well,
my God.
it's gonna take me a whole hell a lot to hold back from not speaking my piece over here."
Maybe it's, oh, I don't even want to say.
What is it?
I was the way she's looking at that note holding her chest, it feels like, the letter that says, I've gone to Florida with Betty or something,
Well, I see here the 1 and 4, which is like a new beginning, and it's about stability, but there has to be change. So it's shocking that somebody made that decision to really have the strength to move forward.
Right. It also could be, news of a loss of a loved one, the way she's reading a message and holding her heart, like a loved one has fallen ill, or, having the strength to get through a family situation.
Well, whatever it is, it hurts.
Yeah.
But Scorpio,
What doesn't
you
kill you will make you stronger, right?
yeah, you've been through as many times, so you got this.
Just get on your lion.
Mhm. You're strong enough to go through this difficult energy if it is difficult to hear or
This is a
some
fierce lion, too. Look at his expression.
I don't
He's
know, put it up closer so I can see.
he doesn't mess around.
Mhm. What is that thing in his hair? It's like something in the bottom part of the hairline over here in the mane.
Curls?
Is that curls? I can't tell.
I'm just looking at his expression and his mouth open. He's like, he's got this. Scorpio, you got this.
Yeah, Scorpio. Like I said, this ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
And you've been hurt plenty of times,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got it.
You got it. You got it.
It ain't a this.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Right.
You can take it. So we have Sag. Oh, well, Saggy. Look at this. The casino.
Oh, I got 8 of Swords.
Oh, you're stressed about this money? What the heck? Why?
Triple sevens. That's godly.
Yeah, so
21.
and that's 11.
Hmm.
So you're stressed about like something that so maybe it came too easy. Maybe you're kind of in shock that there's a surplus of something that's going on.
Maybe you're going to travel to Vegas and you're stressed out about your travel plans.
Yeah, but then suddenly you just hit the jackpot.
Yeah, you hit the jackpot. If I were a Sag, I'd be buying some lottery tickets.
That would, or like do slot machine, like, or maybe a ticket with slots. And play those numbers 11,
Yeah,
7, and what number you got there? 8?
10. Oh, 8. Yeah.
Yeah. You can play number 2. Yeah.
8 of Swords.
Like yeah, like really stressed about this. I don't know, maybe you can't believe that you won. Like Sag, like really seriously buy you a lotto ticket because you might hit big.
And I think the blindfold also is a reminder notice of trusting your own inner guidance as opposed to looking outward.
Yeah, like look at this. This is like a windfall. This happens out of nowhere. You
Yeah.
don't even see this coming. And even if you don't play the lotto, it may happen like a I don't know, an extra check comes in the mail, or somebody owed you money and they come back and they pay you back, or something like that.
I am a fire sign, not Sag, but I won a gift card yesterday for a dinner by virtue of being at a conference and you put your business card in all the different
Mm-hmm.
fish bowls and they are giving away stuff. So
Did they announce your name loud?
I got an email later that said you
Oh,
were chosen. We're putting it in the mail. Yep. So I think maybe fire signs have some luck during the eclipse.
well, there
Air
you
and
go.
fire feed each other, so that's positive.
Well, whatever this thing is, you might come across some good luck there, Sag.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Jupiter, that 21-degree Jupiter from all those years ago being triggered. That could be definitely completion of something big, something important.
Well, I know that Sag has been going through a lot lately, and they definitely could use.
Some luck, lady luck.
Yeah, and I see it. It happens.
Capricorn.
And Cap, what's going on with you?
So that's a square to the eclipse, which can be a little stressful. I got the 2 of Swords.
And I got 2 cards that came out. All right, so where's the camera? Unexpected income and a house. Wow.
Nice.
But there's 2 swords, so
Maybe you have to decide between.
money on the home situation. I was telling you earlier that my parents sent me their will, basically like the money on the home in case like their boat goes down. So I hope this isn't it. Um, but maybe this is about making a decision whether or not you want to buy a house. you have like this money, extra money that's coming in. Maybe you're thinking about investing into like a property of some sort.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been thinking about that too. Like I've been thinking about buying um a house. So yeah, but don't do it, Cab. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. Like you have the two swords. That's how I feel. I don't know what to do yet.
I feel about homes the way I feel about pets, and that is they find their way into our life.
Oh,
There's a
that's
somewhat
nice.
faded kind of energy between homes and pets and us.
Okay, well there you go. I haven't found that house yet then.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay,
perfect, and you'll know it.
good. That's a
Yes,
good advice
yeah,
there, honey.
sure. Just be patient.
Oh, I'm patient. I'm a cap. So next we have Aquarius.
Another air sign, which is would be a trine to the eclipse, lucky energy. And
Alright,
I got two of pentacles.
okay.
I'm pulling a lot of twos tonight. That's interesting because Libra is about balancing, right?
Mhm. Oh, okay. Yeah, look, we have a wealthy man.
Another good looking man with his hand in a pocket.
Well, yeah, but this one is actually a banker, or he has like his hand in wealth. Also, we have like the clock over there. So this could be a timed event. So perhaps Aquarius, maybe you're trying to figure out what to do with someone. And immediately, what I was thinking, if you're in a marital situation, you're probably with someone who is wealthy. But maybe you're looking for other options here. Maybe that's not what you really want.
And it's the 13, and today is the 13th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also it's about like a new beginning on maybe working with this wealthy person.
And Two of Pentacles is kind of like that juggling kind of energy, like,
Like you don't know. Like maybe this person means well and they're kind of well to do, but there's something maybe off about them.
yeah, he looks pretty clean cut.
Yeah, but you know what they say about them clean cut guys.
What do they say?
They're not all they're that cracked up with what they're cracked up to be. Looks are deceiving.
Yes. Interesting.
And so the whole thing is that this guy also has a hand in his pocket. Now, there's a couple of things that come to mind. There's a superstition when your hand itches, you put your hand in your pocket so you can keep the money, right?
Okay.
And then the other thing is that what the hell is he doing with his hand in his pocket? Like, is he hiding something down there or is he playing with himself?
Both.
I don't know. This won't focus, but you get the idea. Look, do you see how like there's like
He
this
even has
ball
gloves and a top hat, like he's getting ready for a formal affair.
formal? Yeah, ready to sign. Like he's got white gloves
Man,
on. He doesn't want to get his hands dirty.
this could be for Aquarius, like investments and
Mm-hmm.
moving money around.
That could be a thing. Maybe it's a time thing. Like maybe now's the time to, and maybe you're not sure if you should maybe go to a different bank or do some sort of investment options here.
Diversify.
Right.
This guy is standing very assertive. You know,
Uh, your jester looking dude over there.
yeah,
He's looking at that one pentacle. He has one in his hand. He knows he has it, but there's this other one that he's looking at that looks pretty good.
yeah. Yeah.
So maybe you're good, Aquarius, but maybe you're looking at your options. So you're good right now, but you're looking for maybe more, maybe.
Or yeah. Yeah.
And
Moving
you've
money.
been talking to some guy at First Command over here, or you know, like, hey, well, what you got there? Well,
What's his elbow leaning on?
wood. Like it. I mean, the whole thing looks like it's oak, really solid wood thing. And behind him is like an old timey, bank, uh,
Mm,
thing. You remember when they used to have bars in the
yeah.
windows?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
think the eclipse is definitely dealing with Aquarius's money.
mhm. This guy is wearing blue, so it looks bluish purple. I would say whoever this person is, I think that they're okay. I have a feeling like they're okay. Like if you've been thinking about investing into something, I would say it would be a good thing.
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
hey, that's good.
Yeah.
All
Any
right.
air sign, I'd buy lottery tickets. Air and fire. This pretty lucky energy, this eclipse. All right. So Pisces, I got the Knight of Cups.
Okay. Pisces, you're always in your Knight of Cups, right?
Yeah. So
Most times.
feeling, feeling, feeling. Just feel,
Oh, feeling
oh my gosh.
marriage.
Now, who got that card before?
uh oh,
Virgo.
Virgo. Yeah, Virgo.
Interesting. It's interesting the marriage card comes up twice when we're talking about Libra.
Well, Pisces, I mean, Pisces can get caught up in their
He's
love
galloping
relationship.
away from the marriage. you know? So
Hmm.
here's the marriage, and he's going this way.
Well, maybe Pisces, you've been wanting to try to work on a relationship, but really in your head, you're like, let me go.
And this is a black horse with like a a a hood or something on, or something disguising the black horse. Something hidden,
I
something
wonder what was the purpose of
illusion.
them putting that over the horse? Is it just for decor?
Or is it was it to it was part of their armor or something, wasn't it? Was it
Well,
to
I know that they
protect them?
put blinders on so that they can only see forward, but this is like a whole garment.
I know. And
So,
he's a black horse. I
okay,
think that this is something about an illusion with Pisces in a marriage.
like Pisces, you've been wanting to get away, but I don't know.
Feeling really emotional.
So maybe this is time for you to really think, are you really like invested into this, or are you wanting to go elsewhere?
And when the soldier has his helmet on, so he's like that to me is like emotional detachment. So maybe they're like in the marriage for the appearance, but underneath already exited.
Well, I can say, like, when I was driving up the street earlier today, I saw a dude in freaking armor.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So was he like part of the theater or something, maybe?
No, so there's like people like that here in Washington. They actually dress up in weird things. Like, I feel like,
Medieval?
yeah, medieval stuff. Like they'll wear like, their thing. There's a guy that lives around here. He looks like Michael Jackson. I don't know. He wears like a black hat, but he walks around with a cane and he twirls it around like when he's walking down the street.
Neat.
Yeah, no, it's just they're very eclectic over here. Like, I don't know, it's just weirdos. But I guess I can't be judgmental because, like, if that's what they want to do, that's what they
They're
want to do.
entertainers. They're
That's
street entertainers.
street entertainers.
They have a little hat out where you could toss $1 or some change.
No, no, this guy's walking up to the burger joint. You know, I don't know. I think he likes to walk up and down the street so people could see him while he's twirling around his cane on the sidewalk.
That's so funny.
It's just weird.
So, what is that guy called that marches in front of a college band? And he has the scepter, and they step really high. It's not a majorette. What is that guy called?
The band leader, right?
Band leader, yeah, of the parade. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
the guy's got a parade in his own mind. He's his own one-person parade.
I guess so. I'm a observer over here. I just look at
I
people.
love being people watcher. I was at that conference yesterday. I just watching people.
It's just really interesting to see people's how they interact with other individuals. And then if you're quiet enough, you can hear what other people are saying.
So I was walking downtown today. It was so pretty. It was such a nice day. And I just wanted to get out into some air and the sunshine. And I was trying to remember where this really popular food vendor was, the street food vendors.
Hmm.
And I was trying to see down this, like if they were down there, because it was a couple of blocks and they used to park there. And I didn't know if they still had or not. And so I'm looking and I'm trying to move so that people are out of my way. And I'm trying to look like a couple blocks down. And there were these two homeless people sitting in a doorway, very dirty part of downtown. And I know that I was trying to avoid eye contact. Okay. I didn't want to be asked for money or bothered or anything. And I hear the girl go something, and I was like, oh God, I'm forced to deal with them because a lot of them are like kind of crazy. And so I looked at her and she goes, I really like your necklace. And I was like, so they're just like sitting in the doorway watching people go by. And I had a necklace on that caught her eye. I thought that
Oh
was
man.
funny. And you know what? I got that necklace at a thrift store. And the whole time walking the next couple blocks down, there was this voice saying, you want to take that necklace off and give it to her. But I
Did
did.
you? Oh.
I did not. I like it too well. Sorry. I'm a Leo.
Well,
I hadn't worn it enough yet. I really just kind of found it at a thrift store recently. And maybe if it were something I'd worn a lot, I'd be ready to let it go. But I'm,
no, it was fresh.
I'm still enjoying it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, um, I see here, Grace, you're listening to while doing housework. Ha ha ha. We'll love to get some of your products like the body scrub. Oh, okay, yeah, honey. Yeah. And I'll put, me, I'll always put a little bit extra since you're far.
Your boxes are great. They're always a treat to get.
Thank you. I always put love into them whenever I ship them out. So
I can tell.
thank you. It's like my favorite thing to do. So, does anyone else have questions for Sunny about like the current energies or future energies or any kind of personal questions that you may have? Now's a good time to speak up.
We have the Taurus lunar eclipse on the 29th.
So, can you give us just a little bit of insight again for those who haven't been with us the whole time?
For this weekend's eclipse.
No, I'm talking about like prior. So, we've already covered like what the current energies are. Like, what are some of the things that we could look forward to for the ones that just chimed in right now? Like, what?
Definitely beautifying of space and yourself with Libra. Definitely looking at perception of things to get real, balanced. Um, Luna liked that one. And, recognizing those South Node patterns that are time to uh, transform. So, yeah, I think it's about justice, beauty, and being balanced. And the biggest thing is and looking at your perception as to why you do things. Are you doing some kind of duty because that's what others want of you? Or is there something that you need to express for yourself? So that's sometimes hard to break those bonds that,
I would just say do for you, don't do for others, unless that's what your intention is.
yeah,
Right, Lynn?
balance, moderation and balance. Luna,
Luna, see, look, she's asking for you, not me. Look over here.
Luna, where's your
Look,
dinosaur? Where's your dinosaur?
it's over there. It's around the corner.
I did end up tossing mine away. I decided it was too far gone to try to fix.
Yeah, that toy had a good run.
Yeah. She is really revved up.
She is no, honey. This girl's on crack.
She is really revved up tonight, more so than we usually see her. She's like ready to.
That's because like I put her in the cage, and then my son came and unleashed her, and he was looking at me too. He's
Oh,
like he knew what he was doing, and I said, "No, don't do it." But he did it anyways, and unleashed
oh.
the Luna.
Well, I think it's really exciting times to be alive because we're given opportunities to manifest goals and passions in our heart that maybe we've put on the back burner. And the eclipse is the energy to trigger that release, trigger that freedom, trigger that project, trigger um, the lie. If you've had some perception that's an illusion, it's about being authentic and listening to your inner voice, practicing your own intuition. And Libra is the diplomat. So if you take the scenario of the mom who never does anything for herself because of the perception of she's always supposed to do for the family first, then you know an eclipse could trigger mom deciding to go, a weekend with the girls away to a spa or something completely out of their routine. And that might cause a lot of like rumbling with all these people that look at her to fill this robotic kind of role. But Libra is the diplomat. So being able to express your feelings about, hey, I'm in a routine, I'm burnt out, and I need a little freedom and a break today, or, something especially nurturing,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's, you know, 5 hours, around the home, but still doing something like, a pampering bath and a hot tea in your warm robe, or, reading a book, or doing something that's been put on the back burner that's very self nurturing. Yeah.
Well, I think I need to do some of that.
Yeah. I know I do. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a certain degree of burnt out in the atmosphere, and exhaustion. I think,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good word to sum it up is
yeah.
feeling the burnout or feeling exhausted, needing to rest, needing to do a little more self care,
And it,
pampering.
and it's not, I think, we're sort of in this hyper paranoid kind of energy for quite a while, and need to be more practical about if you feel low energy or feel tired. it it's nothing other than fatigue. It's not trying not to manifest some you know big
No, but that means
illness.
get some sleep.
You're right. Keep it simple. Sugar.
And if your mind is overworked,
Yeah.
um,
Meditate.
yeah, meditate and go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, get some extra rest because it's a lot of intense vibration in the atmosphere, and especially the way it hits people who are clueless about vibrations of energy. So being more careful on the road, um, and being more vigilant, watching others, around you in terms of how people might be reacting, which can be compulsive or, um, there's this underlying anger with Pluto squaring the eclipse. So a Pluto square, Mars plays in there. That's people being kind of angry, and
No,
maybe not necessarily knowing why. you
right.
know.
I know. I did sense a little bit of that energy this week, and so I would say just do meditation. I mean, and why would you let like something that seems like that bother you or trigger you? Because everything is within yourself.
No, yeah,
So anything external, you can just brush off.
being watchful of how your mind perceives things.
Yeah, observe it,
and
recognize,
and
and
it's
let
going
go.
to be connected to past patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Conjunct South Node, it's going to trigger things from a past experience, whether it's to run into a person or have a dream remembering them, or uh, actually like running into them physically,
Mm-hmm.
which happened to me yesterday.
Right, right. Several times
Yeah, it's weird.
with different
It, it,
individuals.
it was a good weird though, because it was like, you know what? I wasn't triggered. I was like, oh, okay. I got past that. I hadn't been wanting to see that guy in like 5 years. We're walking down the hall towards each other. And, he was the reason I left a really good job because he was
Mm-hmm.
just ridiculous to be around. And it's the only job that I have ever resigned from. Like, I just wrote HR and say I resigned, and I've never done that. You usually work out a couple of weeks to finish your stuff, but I was
Was
done.
this that job downtown?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
It
Um,
was over on Thanksgiving holiday, and I had interviewed with another place, and they had made an offer, and I went on Thanksgiving holiday and never went back. I had a new job to start, and that attorney was really someone that held some power over me because he made me angry, he made me sad and self-doubt, and it was hard to leave that job because the job itself was a good position. But
well, it wasn't only that. You had other coworkers that
well,
were just as bad. It was like the whole bunch
yeah,
of them.
yeah. And so, but he was kind of the point of it, the point master, or the
Right.
the head jerk or whatever. And
Mhm.
yeah, he was coming right towards me. And in my mind, I was like, that's so and so. And I hadn't seen him since 2018.
Oh, that's a while.
Um, you know, that fright flight reaction. Like,
Mhm.
I was like, did I want to like turn or, and then I didn't. I looked straight at him. I said his name and I kept walking. And it felt good to not have that feelings he made me feel all those years ago. It's like I was done. You know, I was just sort of non-reactive, and it felt good to be non-reactive over someone that, what, 5 years ago, really, I had to really work through a lot of anger and
So,
upsetness.
do you feel like you closed like some sort of karmic
Yes,
cycle?
because you know, whenever I've thought of him, the last thing I ever wanted to do is run into him. And so, you know, here we are at a conference, and I run smack dab into is 1,800 people at this conference, and
Mhm.
I run into him. So I thought it was great to get over with. So now, you know, it doesn't linger in my head about I don't want to run into him, or what if I run into him, you know. So
Right.
that was a very prime example of what South Node conjunct the eclipse means.
No, I think it was good.
It was good. It was good. Well, I know it's going on midnight here. It's probably getting toward your downtime there, and
Mhm.
it doesn't look like anyone has any questions. So we'll call it a night and reconvene in a couple of weeks with a Taurus lunar eclipse.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It looks like Luna wants your attention.
Does it?
She wants your attention. Yeah.
Do you want my attention?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny.
I know. She's gonna eat my hair.
I'm
God, she's like a little bully.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Does Leon and Mojo do that too? Stop it. No.
Um, they play with each other like that a lot.
Oh, okay. So they have each other.
Right.
Luna only
So
has me, and
by the time they're played out, they just pile up in my lap and go to sleep.
oh, so that it's a good thing to have two.
They get heavy.
Oh, well, besides that,
Sometimes it's like, you know, I'll be in this chair and one will be on one hip and one will be on one. And it's like, man, that's a lot of weight on that hip joint, you know, and I'll have to like try to keep adjusting so they don't strain a hip joint.
uh-huh. Oh, I get that with Luna. Luna said, Luna, you're heavy. Get off. And I point her down to her little bed down here.
Yeah.
And then she'll jump down, or sometimes she'll be so snuggled up. I
Yeah.
say, honey, you're getting heavy. My leg.
Right. 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 Yeah. Look at her. She's so cute. Now she just turned a year in August, right? Or a year in July.
Yeah, in July.
Yeah.
Yeah. You crazy.
Hey, cutie pie. Cutie pie, where's your cookie? Do you have a cookie? She's
You're looking
looking
at
for
me
you.
like, where's my cookie?
Yeah. What's the word? Is it treat?
Treat. Oh, you said the T word.
No.
No, honey, you
Now
ain't
we
getting no
got her
treat.
going. Yeah.
That's okay. So
It's treat
anyway,
time.
no.
Well, look, I really enjoyed this. I enjoy everyone's time and opportunity to share some astrology and look forward to the next time.
Yes, me too. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to say good night.
All right. Good night. All right. Bye. Hey guys, bye, my dog.